Hi, and thank you for taking the time to learn more about the Envision Eugene Comprehensive Plan. This is a recorded presentation on the draft land use goals and policies for Chapter 11. My name is Stuart Warren. I'm an associate planner on the Community Planning and Design team and one of the many staff working on the Comprehensive Plan. I'm thrilled to be back presenting on another round of draft goals and policies. The Comprehensive Plan is one component of the Urban Growth Strategies project. This project is identifying the tools, actions, policies, and land needed for the next 20 years for living wage jobs and housing that everyone can afford. This is one of a series of presentations on the Comprehensive Plan. In this presentation, I'll provide a brief overview of what a Comprehensive Plan is, an overview of the draft goals and policies for Chapter 11, Land Use. Lastly, I'll outline next steps and ways that you can provide feedback. Let's talk briefly about what a Comprehensive Plan is. If you'd like to learn more, I encourage you to watch the recorded presentation on the Comprehensive Plan. The link is included here and at the bottom of the presentation. The Comprehensive Plan guides the city in its land use planning for future growth within the urban growth boundary. It is informed by years of community engagement through Envision Eugene. Each chapter has a series of goals that articulate the overarching aspirations of the community. Each chapter also contains policies. These policies will provide a consistent course of action and move the community towards attainment of its goals. Once adopted, the policies guide the work of city staff in formulating proposed changes to the development regulations, long-range planning projects, and financial decisions. Before we dive into the draft goals and policies for Chapter 11, I want to provide a quick disclaimer. These goals and policies are in draft form and could change because of the input we receive over the next year or so. Because of the number of policies, I'm only going to highlight a few of them. To see all the draft goals and policies and complete our survey, please visit the project's Engage Eugene page. The link is on the bottom of the slide and at the end of the presentation. The land use chapter of the Comprehensive Plan lays out the goals and policies for Eugene's land use designations and map, urban growth boundary, and urban reserves, all of which help to guide allocation, utilization, and transformation of land inside Eugene's urban growth boundary. The map on the right of the slide is an illustrative map of Eugene's urban growth boundary, which was adopted in this chapter in 2017. Chapter 11 has some currently adopted components that were adopted in 2017 and 2023, including a policy establishing Eugene's urban growth boundary and official map. This policy and map were adopted as part of Phase 1 of the Comprehensive Plan in 2017. Eugene's urban growth boundary identified the land that was anticipated to be needed by Eugene's growing population over a specific period of time, or in this case, through 2032. Chapter 11 also has a policy establishing Eugene's urban reserves, an official map, shown by the illustrative map on the right. Eugene's urban reserves are areas that will be prioritized for future urban growth boundary expansions to meet the needs for the next 20 years of growth in Eugene. This illustrative map was adopted in 2023. Before we jump into the new draft goals and policies for this chapter, I want to discuss what a land use designation is with you. I'm going to use this term often during this presentation, and I want to make sure that we're on the same page with its meaning. Land use designations categorize land based on their uses, like residential, commercial, and industrial, within the urban growth boundary, based on a long-term vision and guided by policies in the Comprehensive Plan. They provide general guidance on the density, character, and location of land uses. Lastly, land use designations are implemented through zoning and the Land Use Code. Let's talk about the new draft goals and policies for Chapter 11. The first draft policy is on strategic and equitable growth. The goal is to promote the efficient use of land inside the urban growth boundary with strategic and equitable boundary expansion when needed, to accommodate all types of land needs for at least 20 years. Plan for the orderly and efficient conversion of land from rural to urban uses in response to urban needs. The second draft goal is on clear process. The goal is to provide clarity for property owners, community members, staff, and stakeholders regarding land use and growth management processes to foster a stable and predictable environment for sustainable growth and development. This goal has two draft policies. The draft policies include a policy describing residential density ranges. This policy is currently adopted policy in the Metro Plan, and city staff felt that it was important to adopt it in the new comprehensive plan to help provide clear process. Density, in this case, is measured by the number of residential dwellings or units per net acre. This policy establishes density ranges for low, medium, and high density residential land uses. I want to note that these ranges are the same as the current policy in the Metro Plan, only expressed in dwelling units per net acre, which excludes lands for things like roads, instead of dwelling units per gross acre, which includes all land. And a policy on land use designations and zone inconsistencies. This policy is in response to some inconsistencies between how some residential land is designated and zoned. It says that in those few cases, those properties may develop based on their zone without having to change their designation. The final draft goal of the chapter is titled Land Use Designations. The goal is to define and regulate land use designations within Eugene's urban growth boundary as shown on the land use designation map to promote orderly development, protect natural resources, and guide future growth. Encourage a land use pattern that fosters a mutually supportive arrangement of jobs, housing, institutions, open space, and park and recreational uses. This chapter also includes the creation of a Eugene-specific land use designation map and necessary policies, including land use designation map. This policy, once adopted, will make the land use designation map the official designation map for Eugene. If you'd like to see the map and learn more about it, please visit the Land Use Designation Map project page. The link is on the bottom of the slide, in the video description, and at the end of the presentation. There are other policies related to the map, including how to handle public ways and railroad right-of-ways, and how to make administrative adjustments. Most of the land use designations in this chapter are very similar to the ones in the currently adopted Metro Plan, but there are a few slight changes and one new designation. Our team is proposing the following additional changes. Removing designations that were referenced, but not shown on the currently adopted Metro Plan diagram. That includes neighborhood commercial, strip or street-oriented commercial facilities, and small-scale light industry designations. Staff are also proposing light cleanups to the employment and industrial designations, including collapsing the one property that was designated special heavy industrial into heavy industrial designation, renaming campus industrial to campus employment, and renaming light medium industrial to light medium industrial and employment. Lastly, we are proposing the addition of a new climate-friendly area overlay designation. This overlay meets the new state requirements for planning for areas with the highest density of housing, jobs, and services with high-quality infrastructure for people who walk, bike, and take the bus. Our next steps for Chapter 11 include collecting community input on the draft goals and policies. This video, its surveys, and other materials are currently posted on the project's Engage Eugene page at the web address shown here, and I encourage you to let us know what you think. Later this year, staff will be refining the draft goals and policies as needed with Eugene and Lane County Planning Commissions, City Council, and Board of Commissioners. Once adopted, the land use designation map will be periodically maintained, including an interactive map on our website. Again, I'd like to encourage you to watch all of our chapter videos and tell us what you think. All materials can be accessed by visiting the project's Engage Eugene page shown here. You can scan the QR code or follow the link on the slide. We'll be posting videos like this one with surveys for each draft chapter. Surveys will be available through the end of July of 2025. You can learn more about the land use designation map by following the second link on the slide, which is also in the video description. If you're interested in learning more about the comprehensive plan please visit the Comprehensive Plan webpage, also shown here. And lastly, feel free to reach out to project staff with any questions, thoughts, and feedback by sending us an email. With that, I want to say thank you for watching this presentation and taking the time to learn more about the draft land use chapter of the Envision Eugene Comprehensive Plan.